Hello students, this is the paper, last year's paper, right, of DAVV. So here I am discussing answers. It may be useful to you. So let us see. That's the first question is that define linguistics and its relation to uh, to the English language. So linguistics is the scientific study of language and its structure, right? So we know that linguistics, where we study language and its structure, right? So and that is scientific based facts and figures. For example, how airflow comes, and then how sounds are produced, and mechanism, organs of speech, articulators, all these come under linguistics, right? It encompasses various subfields such as phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So these are the different parts, right? Phonetics means how it works, right? How language is produced. So the whole study, different parts of speech, which study in phonetics, then phonology. So that is how sound develops, how we receive sound, a child receives sound, and then how like after long practice sometime we listen something like or sometime we add something into the words and language. So that is phonology. Then morphology is the study of word formation, and then syntax, that's a structure, how like different kinds of structure, different sentences, for example. So that's a simple sentence, then continuous, then perfect, and then perfect continuous something. Another way, different kind of sentences like simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence, these all study come under syntax. Then semantics is the words, right? Meaning, for example, suppose every word cannot be fitted in particular situation. So that is whole study where meaning changes. We had already discussed semantics. And pragmatics, pragmatics is what? Practically uh, we discuss something, but then use of language is different. For example, for continuous tense, I am making video. So that's the continuous tense is used for the action which are in progress, right? But then if I say that I'm going movie today, today evening, suppose I'm planning, so I'm going movie today, right? So that is future planning. That action is not being done at the time of speaking, but then practically sometime we use something, so we use such sentences. So that part is called pragmatics. So the relationship of linguistics to the English language involves analyzing and understanding its sounds, word formation, sentence structure, meaning, and usage. What they are saying that the relationship of linguistics to English language, this equation involves analyzing and understanding its sounds, right? So 44 sounds, understanding and analyzing, and then word formation. We had already discussed that how words are formed with the prefix, suffix, right, middle fix, and then that's a singular, plural, right? Then noun to adjective, verb to adjective, adjective to noun, something like this is word formation. Then sentence structure, and then how like sentence structures change in imperative sentence. So all imperative sentence start with verb, right? So that's one of the examples of sentence structure. Then meaning, and then how meaning changes if we change the word and replace the word, and then its usage. So that all this comes, and then so this is the answer actually. That's a mm, uh, linguistics is very helpful to English language, or to analyze English language. Linguistics help decode the complexities of English. Like when we study today, you studied English, so then you come to know that what are the complexities of language, English language. Tracing its historical development, we had already discussed. Describing its current use, right now what we use, and predicting future changes. And then we predict, we after technology, that future changes, many words definitely we are going to borrow from other languages. So that's a prediction. Okay, so this is first question. Now next question, how does morphology contribute to the structure of English words? So morphology is the study of structure and formation of words, right? So that is morphology, that's a structure and formation of words. It deals with morphemes, right? Morpheme means words, the smallest unit of meaning, right? So that is morpheme, smallest unit of meaning. In English, morphology contributes to word structure by how? Morphology, like inflection, we had discussed in the class, inflection, right? Adding suffixes to words to indicate tense, number, possession, etc. Inflection, adding suffixes, right? So that's a suffixes means after the word, right? So main word is talk or cat, so then talked and cat, but then that's a cat is noun form, so that noun, that's a position, grammatical position does not change in inflection. Inflection. And then moving to derivation, creating new words by adding prefixes or suffixes. New words means that the position will be changed, that's happy, unhappy, right? And then uh, sorry, employ, employment, right? So that's a example of derivation, right? Then compounding, combining two or more words to form a new word, right? So that is compound word, like black and board, right? Like tooth and paste. So this is compounding. Morphology help us understanding how words are formed, how they function, and how they relate to each other within sentences, right? So this is whole studies uh, uh, called morphology. So question is that how does morphology contribute to the structure of English words? Definitely, if we know that how English words are made, definitely we'll be able to guess that what suppose you are not familiar with the word, so then you can guess that it might be this meaning. For example, if I say side, homicide, sororicide, fratricide, patricide, matricide, side is killing, suicide, right? So side, suppose patricide, you're not familiar, but then you can guess that the side is the word, and then petri, right? So that's a patricide is murder of father, matricide murder of mother, and regicide murder is king, and sororicide murder of sister, and fratricide murder of brother, this way. So then that is the whole study which comes under morphology. That's a side is common, and then other words are changes, so change, so then you'll be able to understand, you will able to guess that what might be this word, new word. Suppose you come across with a new word and side ends with side, so definitely you'll be able to guess that that is something murder or killing, right? Okay, now next word is next question is that explain the significance of great vowel shift, right? Very important, great vowel shift. So that is great vowel shift in the development of English. So here great vowel shift was the major phonological change. We had already discussed major phonological change that took place between the 15th and 18th century. 15th and 18th century, affecting long words of Middle English. Its significance includes phonetic transformation. Long vowels were raised or diphthongicide, right? So diphthongized, right? Diphthongized. Uh, changing pronunciation. For example, Middle English pronunciation of bite, right? So that's a beat, right? So that's a middle beat. However, it's a bite, but then that's a beat became bite. Okay, so that's a earlier became uh, modern English says that it's a bite. Earlier it was pronounced in Middle English, it was pronounced as beat, but now it's bite. So that's a good example you can remember. So that is beat, that's a great vowel sound or long vowel, right? That's a long vowel. Or here that is what they say that, and that is diphthongized, means that's a that this sound change into I, right? This one. So that is phonetic transcription, and that affects, that's a great vowel sound, great vowel shift, right? So that's a vowel shift when this I, right, shift to AI. Same, they are saying that long vowels were raised or diphthongized, right? Changing pronunciation. So this is diphthongized this way. This is Middle English and this is Modern English. Same word, bite or beat. Okay. Now standardize. It contributed to the standardization of English spelling, right? So now after some time, English was spelling was standardized and pronunciation, leading to discrepancies between spelling and pronunciation. Now transition to Modern English. It marked the transition from Middle English to early Modern English, right? So that's a, because of great shift, that's a vowel, that's a transition of Modern English. That's a, it marked the transition from Middle English to modern to early Modern English. It was Middle English, but then that great vowel shift, because of great vowel shift, language changes, and then it was known as Modern English, profoundly influencing the phonetic structure of language. And then that is influence of phonetic structure, sound. Phonetic structure is sound. So because of sound, language was changed and it became Modern English from Middle English. Okay. Now describe the impact of, next question, describe the impact of Latin and French of on the vocabulary of Middle English. So that's a Latin and French had a significant impact on Middle English vocabulary. Latin influence, Latin words, we had already discussed that pie chart where this person French and this please remember that chart we had already discussed that. So this is the French, this is Latin, 26% something. So you just remember and make it positively. So that's a Latin word centered English primarily through religious, legal, while Latin words like religious, legal, and scholarly context, right? So, in English, these words are copied or adopted as it is. For example, altar, right? Scripture, legal, these words. So, that is Latin influence. So, Latin words entered English primarily through religious, legal, and scholarly context, right? So same words had been adopted into English. Then French influence, that's the Norman conquest in 1066 brought many French words, we had already discussed in the class, into English, particularly in government, right, and law, art, literature, and cuisine, right? So these words borrowed, they brought actually Norman conquest, they brought French words, and French words still La Meridian, famous hotel, right? La Meridian. So La Meridian actually that's a French word. So that is, many words were taken as it is. French words were adopted, particularly in government, law, art, literature, and cuisine. In these domain, these areas, many words were already like taken as it is, right? Examples include government, court, beauty, cuisine. These this bilingual society led to the absorption of vast number of French loan words, right? So these words were loaned, right, greatly expanding the English lexicon, right? Okay, now next question. Define phoneme in the context of phonology. In phonology, a phoneme is the smallest unit of sound, phoneme, right? And that can distinguish meaning definitely between words in particular language. Phonemes are abstract unit of sound, right? This is abstract unit of sound that can change meaning when altered, right? In English, the difference between bet and pet, meaning the b and p, right? In a single phoneme, P versus B, I had already discussed in the class. That's a P, right? That's a Q. Wait a minute. That's a Q, right? That's a B, and that's a D. So one word, then one direction even change. So phoneme change, sound will be changed, right? So for that is the defined phoneme in context of phonology. We had already discussed sometime hamster. So that's a spelling is different, but then P we listen P because because of phoneme. So that's a many hot coffee, right? So that's a hot coffee. So this is the study of phonology where sometimes some phonemes are produced or some phonemes it feels, right, it seems that that word is being used. So deletion, insertion, right, and different there are different process by which we improve or we receive words. And finally, when we study words, then when we are much familiar with phoneme, then definitely we'll improve. And that is the defined phoneme in the context of phonology. So what the phoneme is the last basic unit of phonology, right? So at last we reach to the phoneme, right? So that is phoneme, how words change, how meaning change because of single phoneme. So uh, that is called phonology. And then small words are called phoneme. Okay, how does synchronic ambiguity occur in sentence? Synchronic ambiguity occurs when a sentence can be interpreted in more than one way due to its structure as uh, as at a single point, right? It arises from lexical ambiguity or syntactic ambiguity, right? So when the sentence can be interpreted in more than one way due to its syntactic syntactic ambiguity in a single point in time. For example, uh, lexical ambiguity, when a word has multiple meaning. Some words has, we had already discussed this, some words has multiple meaning, right? Bank is very common, right? So that is number 2. Syntactic ambiguity, when the structure of sentence allows for multiple interpretations. I saw the man with a telescope. My dear students, please remember these common sentences. Can mean the observer use a telescope, and that's the meaning which are already to see the man, or that the man had a telescope, right? So please remember these examples. Now next question is, what is the difference between translation and transcription? Translation is the process of converting texts from one language to another while preserving the original meaning. Please take care, while preserving the original meaning, uh, which is called translation, right? So from one language to another, right? So that's a translation, is the process of converting text from one language to another while important is preserving the original meaning, right? Tone and context, meaning, tone and context, right? It focuses on linguistic accuracy. Okay. Now, transcreation goes beyond translation by adapting the content to resonate with the cultural and emotional nuances of the target audience. Like translation, uh, so that is not simple translation, but that is adapting the content to resonate with the cultural and emotional nuances of target audience. I gave you example of Jadta Raja. Jadta Raja is the biography, that's a biography of Chhatrapati Shivaji. So that drama is very beautiful, prepared by Maharashtrians, and then they talk the same story they discuss, but then in the modern context. So they use so many modern tools and all, and then picturization, dialogues, right? Soul is same, soul cannot be original, meaning should never be changed, but that's a something new creation, that is transcreation. It involves creative rewriting to ensure the message evokes the same response in the new language. So how with the new language, like Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita, I gave you example, like Vishkumar Vishwas speaks on apne apne Ram. So that is, he gives number of example, like reels, he used to give example, videos, he talk about WhatsApp, he talks about many like technology, he talks about he gives example of uh, politicians and all. So that's a message is same, but what he is doing, he is giving he's trying to make audience understand the character of Ram, Maryada Purushottam Ram, like how in this modern world we still will be able to maintain the dignity and decorum this way. But that's a something creation, something trans is change, and creation something uh, creation is there, translation is there, but that is something creative, with the creativity, with modern time, same message, how same message can be delivered through modern language, that is transcreation. Okay. Now, so that transcreation is often used in marketing and advertising. So that's a I gave you number of examples, like if they said say in thanda thanda cool cool, that's a combination of thanda thanda and then the cool cool English. So that's a ultimate purpose, it's a very chilled, right? So that's a marketing, that's advertise, n number of advertise are there. So you can give any example, like how I remember one example in jewelry, right? So that's the very 2 3 years daughter, and she is with her new father, because mother is widow, and then she does not understand, but then she is taking fairy with she is in mother's mm, she is with mother, and then that's some I would share you, but then the very beautiful message was that that's a at the time that widows are allowed to get married, remarriage something, right? So that's a advertise and dialogue, very good dialogue. This is example of recreation, transcreation. Now next question is, what does the IPA, that's sorry, it's not IPS symbol, it's IPA symbol, right? So please correct, when I was typing it's IPA symbol. So that's the how, what does the IPA symbol, IPS stand for in linguistics. Give an example of IPA symbol used for voice bilabial plosive. Okay, so the International Phonetic Alphabet is a standardized system of phonetic notation used to represent the sounds of a spoken language. I have already told you that 44 sounds and 44 symbols, no confusion. That is the ultimate purpose. One symbol, same sound, no confusion whether if suppose it is sure, so that will be sure, right? It is sure, so that will be sure. It is sure, so that will be, that's a judge, or that's a jet, right? So that is same sound. Now there is no confusion, right? So that is IPA symbols. An example of an IPA symbol for voice bilabial plosive is B. Why? Because first is bilabial because both lips are joined, and plosive because air passes when you speak B, bet, right? So that's a one what we can say that uh, what we can say that bursts, right? Sound bursts, right? When you speak B. So then a little bit one kind of blast. So I blast cannot say, but then you can imagine that's a voice. First of all, it's voice, and then some plosive, like plosive is actually burst out. So that's a, you say busy, so then first you have to fill the air to your mouth, and then join the lips and the be busy, and then all of a sudden it's out, that's a airflow out, comes out from mouth, that, and then voice bilabial plosive means B sound is produced. Okay, next question. How does IC analysis help in studying language variation? So that's the immediate constituent analysis, helps in studying language variations by breaking down into sentences, right? So that's a important, into sentences, into their component parts, right? At last, to understand their structure and syntax. Okay, this analysis reveals how different languages, dialects construct sentences, how sentences are made. Here after I say analysis we come to know, so how different languages and dialects construct sentences and can highlight variations in grammatical structure, right? Word and word order and usage. So grammatical structures and then word order and usage, how these grammatical structures are made, and then word order, subject plus verb plus object, right? Sometime verb plus object, sometime subject plus verb, right? So that's a, this is word order and its usage. By comparing IC analysis across languages, linguistics can identify patterns and differences. So after IC analysis, that's a linguistics can identify patterns. So we would understand that's what is suppose I by I uh, want to participate in a seminar, right? So at last you will come to know that I is pronoun, want is verb, right? Want to participate, right? And so then to participate in the seminar, so to participate is the, that's a something verb, and then in the seminar, so in is preposition, the this way we had already discussed, right? Now next question is that compare and contrast the synchronic and diachronic approaches to the study of language. Provide an example of, to illustrate how each approach contributes to our understanding of language phenomena, right? So that's a synchronic approach analyzes language at a specific point of time, right? Uh, point in time without considering historical context. It focuses on structure and usage, right? So that is structure and usage of the language as it is currently used, right? So what is the structure right now and what's the usage right now? Suppose wanna, right? Wanna or wanna or right, and then these are the words, new words, right? So that is example, like usage is different, and then structure. So that's a structure is, I gave you example we, there is no word for care for you. So these are the synchronic. Right now such language, SMS language, you can discuss in synchronic, right? And then analyze market, newspaper are frequently use these terms, abbreviation and all. So same example you can give. And then analyzing modern slang in English to understand contemporary linguistic trends. That's what's going on right now. Yeah, many words, many slangs we use. I'll give you example right now, but yeah, many slangs. That's a no way, right? No way. This is a slang actually. No way, right? Uh, Hindi slang I can give you example, like koi nahi, right? So these are the words. So this is the study right now. That's a synchronic approach I gave you. कर ही नहीं, क्या ही कर सकते हैं. This is current language, Hindi language. English language I don't remember right now. Okay, now diachronic approach studies the historical development and changes in the language over time. It examines how languages evolve and transform, like from that time to this time, how language is evolved, right? And then example tracing the evolution of English language from old to middle to modern, right? That is to modern. And it includes change in phonology, morphology and syntax, like how sounds are changed, how words are changed. Like you can give example of thou, right? So thou becomes you, right? Then the, yeah, right, your, right? Then doth, it's does, right? So then these are the words. That's an example of morphology. Then syntax, so that's a structure where you can talk. Each approach contributes to our understanding of language phenomena by providing different perspectives. Synchronic analysis helps us understand current language use, right? Because we have to be updated. And then while diachronic reveals historical changes and developments. Okay, now examine the concept of syllables in linguistics, delving into their structural properties, functions and role in language. So syllables are unit of organization for sequences of speech sound. So that's a unit of organization, right? How organization for sequences of a speech sound, right? Sequences, first of all, sequences, right? And how these sequences when then this is the sequence that it organize one sound. So that's the study, that is syllable. They have structural properties, functions and roles in language. So that's a syllables are the units of speech sound, actually units of speech sound, right? And then these units are how these units are organized in a sequence, right? If I say that cheating, right? Cheating, right? So that's a cheating, right? So that's a cheating, two syllable word, this way, right? Okay, they have structural properties, functions and roles in language. Structure or syllable typically consists of nucleus, usually a vowel. We had already discussed in the class. That's a nucleus. Okay, so that's a nucleus vowel, and may have an onset. So that's a initial consonants and a coda, final consonants. For example, cat has one syllable, right? So that's a cat. Okay, so that's ca and t. This is onset, this is coda, this is nucleus. Okay, functions. Syllables serve as building blocks for words. affecting pronunciation, rhythm, and stress pattern. They help in segmenting speech into manageable units, right? If I say gynecologist, right? So that's a gyneco, right? Logist, right? Escalators, this way. Now, role in language, syllables play a crucial role in phonological processes. So that is um, how syllable, including stress placement, intonation, and phonotactic constraints, rules governing allowable sound combination, like syllables play a very important role in language. They influence the phonetic structure, right, and are important in poetry and prosody. That is why rhymes, rhyming patterns, and all. So that same word, same sound, sometime word maybe bigger, right? But then that's a stress and meter and foot, that's a count is same. So that is why this is the matching, kind of matching, and which creates rhythm, right, which creates a rhyming pattern. So that is done when we count syllables, right? So syllable play a crucial role in phonological processes, including stress placement, right? So that's a, in the beginning I am not able to speak a gynecologist, but then when my tongue is polished, then easily I'll be able to pronounce gynecologist, right? So that is stress placement. And then so that's where to put stress, primary stress, secondary stress. And then intonation, that's a falling rising tone. And then phonotactic, and then the how sound is for one word and a second word. Example you can give, that's a uh, tongue, tongue twisters, right? So that's the tongue twisters are not easy. So that is why tongue twisters are not used in daily, like in normal sentences or conversation. So here this is the, and that's why we always use the words which are easily to pronounce, right? Easy to pronounce. So that is the role of syllable. Now, reflect on the implications of globalized communication on the practice of translation, considering how it has evolved in response to changing technological and social landscape. So, globalized communication has significantly impacted the practice of translation. Technological advancements, tools like machine translation, translation memory system, and computer based translation. What are they? Machine translation, then translation memory system, and computer assisted translation tools have made translation more efficient and accessible. Any translation, Google translates number of languages, one sentence into Marathi, Gujarati, Spanish, Tamil, and all, right? So these machine translation, then translation memory systems. So sometime we just use speaker and then we speak, so that's he memorize and he translates. Then computer assisted translation, and then that's words, sometime voice note, right? These are the examples. Okay, so this, because of technology now, uh, question is that, sir, uh, because of globalized communication, so that's it's very accessible. We'll be able to understand each and every recipe and laws and very easily because of translation. So then everything is accessible now, right? And now social landscape, the need for accurate and culturally sensitive translations has increased due to global interaction. So that's a accurate, and their culture and everything we can understand, right? So that's a important tool because of globalized communication. So then where we are able to understand uh, their culture, their feelings, and everything, right? Because of global interactions, right? So then earlier I remember that the America, London, foreign countries, like that's a very big thing to us when we were like you. But now it's very easy. Why? Because we are very much familiar with their culture, and everywhere everything can be seen, right? And that is why that's a social landscape is very frequently and very drastically changed, right? So now that confusion, and then that imagination is not imagination is not remain imagination. Everything is almost in front of our eyes, because uh, though it's a virtual world, but then through virtual world we can see each and everything through pictures. And so their culture, and now what we can see, that nothing is, everything is reachable, right, in our through our phone. So that's a language also. Now translator must navigate cultural nuances, small things, subtleties are called nuances. So very small, each and every like culture we are familiar with, how they and I remember, unfortunately I am discussing here one of the cricketers, right now I'm not getting his name, very young cricketer dies. And then the father, that he was taking his coffin and he was crying like anything. Then only I got to know that how they are attached with each other. Because in our time, what I we used to think that they don't have sentiments and all. But then that was shown because computer came, and then TV came. So then in TV we saw that how that young cricketer was being taken by his father in the in the what just now I said that that's a that what is called, I forgot earlier I said. So that's all rituals and customs when we were able to see that what custom they follow. Coffin, yeah, coffin. So this is because of language, because of TV, right? Reporter. So that's language is easier to us. And because video, that's a language means non-verbal is also major part of communication. Na? Then evolution translation has evolved from manual intensive process to a more streamlined technology driven practice. So translation, because of translation from manual labor intensive process to more streamlined technology driven practice, the rise of global communication platforms has also expanded the demand for real time translation services. So that's a easy, we can say that because of this evolution, translation became very important, right? So this is the question, right? Translation is very easy because of technological advancements, social landscape change, evolution is done. Now, explain the challenges associated with semantic ambiguities, considering how context and multiple meanings contribute to potential misunderstandings. Semantic ambiguity. Semantic arises when a word or phrase has multiple meanings, right? Leading to potential misunderstanding. And then suppose word is not befitted in that particular sentence, so that it creates ambiguity, like the dependency. The meaning of a word or phrase can change based on context. For example, bank can mean a financial institution or the side of a river. Without context, it is unclear which meaning is intended. We had already discussed multiple meanings. Words with multiple meanings can cause confusion, especially in translation. Ensuring the correct meaning is conveyed requires careful consideration of context, right? So that's a sometime words are not uh, clear, and then it creates different meanings, right? Then potential misunderstandings, ambiguity can lead to miscommunication, right? And especially in written texts where vocal intonation or body language are absent, and that's why it may create problem or misunderstanding. Clear and practice precise language is essential to avoid ambiguity and ensure understanding. And that is why legal matters or medical or cosmetics, their sentences are rewrite again and again, because there should not be or very less ambiguity. It should not be ambiguous sentences, right? Because it may be there is lot of chance to misinterpretation, right? So then now next question, examine the impact of technological advancement such as speech recognition software on the relevance and adaptation of IPA symbols, considering how these tools utilize phonetic transcriptions to enhance accuracy. That technological advancements like speech recognition software have influence the relevance and adaptation of IPA symbols. Relevance, the IPA remains crucial for accuracy representing speech sound, especially in diverse languages and dialects, right? So that's the IPA symbols are very useful actually. When you are familiar with some 7 8 new sounds, then now you'll be able to read what the correct sound of the word, right? So that's pronunciation. So that is very relevant. And then same he's saying that that's a crucial for accuracy representing speech sounds. So our speech sound is very clear when we are familiar with IPA symbols, especially in diverse languages and dialects. So that is first thing. And speech recognition software relies on the phonetic transcription to understand and process spoken language accurately, definitely. Because suppose you want to translate something and through a speaker, so that first of all your pronunciation must be very clear and accurate, then only you'll be able to translate your matter accurately, right? So that is pronunciation. And then IPA symbols plays very important role, because once you are familiar with like once you are very strong, you have strong pronunciation, so that speaker listens the same, and then accordingly you can change the matter, right? Now adaptation, that is, as technology evolves, IPA symbols may be adapted to represent new sounds or variations more precisely, right? So he suggests, when you speak something, he suggests number of words, right? So researchers and developers continuously refine these symbols to improve speech recognition accuracy. Even I would like to share my experience. Earlier I typed something, and now so that he catches very in new phones, that he catches accurately and very quickly, right? So that is adaptation. And then technology evolves and IPA symbols may be adapted to represent new sounds, right? So when you speak something, then they catch, okay? So that's a represent new sounds and variations more precisely. So IPA symbols are maybe adapted to uh, represent new sounds, right? So that is important. Then enhancement of accuracy, speech recognition software uses IPA based phonetic transcription to convert spoken language into text accurately, and we do, right? And then this technology is used in various applications, including virtual assistants, transcription services, and language learning tools, making accurate phonetic representation essential. So, finally, we can say that technological advancements such as speech recognition software on the relevance and adaptation of IPA symbols, considering how these tools utilize phonetic transcriptions to enhance accuracy. So, definitely, that if you speak clearly, so it will, that's a system or a speaker of phone will listen clearly, right? Now, objective type question. What does the term linguistic evolution refer to in the context of English language? So that linguistic evolution refers to the gradual development and changes in the English language over time, right? So that is a linguistic evolution influenced by historical, social, and cultural factors. We had already discussed that's an invasion and technology, right? And great shift of vowel, these are the causes. And then gradually what we speak now developed phone and then number of software. So that is the gradual process, right? Gradual development. And then now the form of English is in very advanced stage. Okay, now, so this is something I uh, try to explain you. Thank you so much. God bless you.